Okay, let's see. Do you see my presentation?
Yes, we can see the first page.
Perfect.
So, good
Perfect.
evening, everyone. Thank you for taking your time to come to the Parks and Beautification Committee. My name is Berlotte Antoine. I am the chair of the Parks and Beautification Committee meeting, and our vice chair, our co-chair, Miss Nicole Delirious, can't make it tonight. However, member Dorothy Gordon will be our co-chair for this meeting tonight, and she also will guide the Q&A session for our meeting. So good evening, everyone. When I call your name, you can just unmute yourself and state your name, and I will pass it on to someone else. So greetings, Dorothy Gordon.
Hello, greetings. It's Dorothy.
Hi, greetings. Greetings, Miss Adele Bennett.
Greetings. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, Miss Linda Turner.
Good evening, everyone. Linda Turner, committee member.
Good evening. I have on the line the Judy Walsh. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. This is Jody Walsh, Community Board Member.
Nice to have you. And for Community Board 17 staff, we have Miss Sinclair. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ayana Sinclair, and I am the Community Associate with CB17.
Good evening. And we have some people will be coming late, but I always respect people who are on time. So after the end of the meeting, I will ask other people to introduce themselves. Because our presenter is so kind to be very early, I will start with the presentation, and then later on we'll go over some other things in the meeting that other thing on the agenda. We have some other items on the agenda that we'll cover, but we will start with the presentation. We please keep your questions for after the presentation. Miss Dorothy Gordon will lead this presentation. When you raise your hand, this is where she will acknowledge you and will ask you to unmute yourself and ask your question. So more people will be coming. If you hear any noise, please let us know so we can mute them. Now I give it to Teddy Tedesco from Lower East Side Ecology Center, who will lead us in a presentation about composting. Composting in New York City is a huge thing. Our community is Parks and Beautification Committee, so we are very concerned about the beautification of Brooklyn, beautification of Community Board 17 in particular. So let's talk about compost and see how we as community members can contribute to the beautification of our district. So I give it the mic now to the presenter. Good evening.
Hi there. Thank you so much for having me again. It's great to be back here. I'm coming here with my presentation on the curbside composting program, and also a little update for those of you who might have been here. It has now been a year and a half since New York City has been requiring curbside composting throughout all 5 boroughs, and the curbside composting program has been available through all 5 boroughs. There was a quick pulse last April of 2025 of fines for those who weren't in compliance. And then, thanks to a lot of community feedback, those fines were put on hold, even though people were told about this program for some time. You know how it is in New York City. So those fines were put on hold for a while, and then the new administration came in, and just as of last month, they have really come back in force with fines. They have issued the most fines for not participating in curbside composting since the program started, thousands of fines. So this new administration is serious about this program being enforced, and I'm going to show you why that's a good thing and why it's something we could all support. So I'm going to share my screen now. Bear with me for a moment.
And while you are sharing your screen, I want to acknowledge member George Tate who came in. Good evening, Mr. Tate. And Miss Vanita Sylvester, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, good evening all.
Okay, give me some audio feedback if you can see what I'm saying.
Yes, we can hear you well.
And can you see my presentation?
Correct.
Yes.
Perfect. go.
We can see it. I know there is another way that people can have it to be bigger, like presenter way.
Okay, yeah, I see it full screen on my end. So
Okay, so go ahead. You can,
okay.
take it over. Yes.
So yes, we'll be talking about curbside composting, the new New York City program that's part of the law here in New York City now. Just a quick overview about my organization. We were the pioneers at the Lower East Side Ecology Center in urban sustainability. Before New York City was even recycling paper and plastic and glass, our founders were hauling materials that they collected from the public to private recyclers. I learned about composting, 15 plus years ago at Union Square from people who were doing it there, collecting food scraps. So we were really kind of the pioneers of this type of sustainability model, helping to influence city policy to create opportunities for all New Yorkers to recycle their waste and put it to good use. So we will particularly be talking about composting tonight. And just a big overview, why is it important? Why is the city bothering to make us do this with the threat of fines if we don't? So we'd like to break into 4 big categories. The first one, environmental justice. I'm originally from Staten Island. Those of us of a certain age remember what used to exist on Staten Island, the world's largest trash landfill. It was a huge environmental justice issue for us. Higher asthma rates, horrible smells, medical problems for those who lived around the landfill. It was a huge political effort to get it shut down, and it was a big success. It was shut down in 2000, and now that landfill is being turned into a world-class park that's going to be twice the size of Central Park. So it's amazing how we can take what was a environmental blight and turn it into something of value. But we didn't actually solve the problem. If you look all the way to the right of the screen at the high cost of disposal, we are actually shipping that trash now to far-flung states, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Ohio, South Carolina. So we didn't solve the problem. We just pushed it on other communities outside of New York City. And we're spending about $500 million a year just to ship out our trash without any benefit coming back to the city at all. We have a low resource recovery rate. So, we've been recycling paper, metal, and glass since I was a kid, back in the early 90s. And even for some of those materials that we're all familiar with, there might be only about a 50% recycling rate for things like paper or plastic. A lot of people still don't do those things. So you can see from this chart, the important thing is about 1/3 of our waste stream is organic material that's suitable for composting. So that's a huge part of what's being picked up by trucks every day. And then finally, greenhouse gas emissions. Every time you bury organic waste like food and gardening waste in a landfill, it creates methane, which enters the atmosphere and heats up the atmosphere even more so than carbon dioxide. So it is not only a local environmental justice issue, but it's a global issue when we add things to landfills. So as I said earlier, it is now mandatory for every single New York City resident to separate our yard waste, our plant waste, and our food scraps from our regular trash. This was a law passed in 2023, and the curbside composting service is now active throughout the city. We'll talk more in a minute about the items that can go in, but it's very easy. It's all leaf and yard waste, all food scraps, and all food soil paper. They must be separated by residents from the trash. And the waste can go curbside in a 55-gallon bin or a 55-gallon or less bin with a closing lid. That could be one of those brown bins that you saw the Department of Sanitation. They used to give those out for free. Now you must purchase them. Or it can be a bin of your own that's 55 gallons or less, as long as it has the sanitation decal for composting on it. Leaf and yard waste can be in a clear plastic bag at the curb. It does not have to be in a bin. So what is the deal with a bin? Part of this program is getting food waste into containers. We have a big rat problem in this city. Other cities around the world and even around the country have been far ahead of us for many years. Trash going into a bin just makes sense. Rodents, it's much harder for them to get into a sealed bin than into a black bag. So a big part of this program is also to reduce the rat problem. And buildings with 4+ units must provide a clearly marked storage area for the collecting of compostables on a weekly basis. And the curbside collection is on the building's recycling day. This might be a little new for people because we're used to putting our food waste in the trash, and then it gets picked up 2 to 3 times a week by the Department of Sanitation with regular trash. But now that food waste is only going to be picked up 1 day a week on your recycling day. And that's something new to get used to, and how you might want to containerize your waste to make sure it doesn't cause any odor problems or pest problems. That's the important thing that we'll discuss in a little bit. And like I said, the Department of Sanitation has resumed full issuance of violations, and they are doing it in force. So there's no reason to get a ticket. And I'll show you how it's easy to comply with the program. So what are we putting in? I like to say, if it grows, it goes. So basically anything that used to be alive, whether it was animal or plant, and was food waste or gardening waste, can go into this program. All of your food scraps, including your meat and dairy, your prepared foods, your greasy foods, all of your food soil paper, your napkins, towels, tea bags, coffee filters, pizza boxes, all of it can go. So there isn't a lot of guessing. If you had composted in the past, maybe some places only took fruit and vegetable scraps. This program makes it easy. Basically, everything that's coming out of your kitchen can go in. Also, all your household plants, the old soil, cut flowers, anything coming out of your backyard, all of it goes into this program. It's very easy. With the only exceptions being the things that have their own recycling streams, like metal, glass, plastic, and cartons, and clean paper should still go in clean paper recycling. The exception to organic waste would be things like pet waste and human waste, right? We don't want dog and cat waste. We don't want kitty litter. We don't want medical waste, hygienic products, things like that. Think food waste and think gardening waste, but no human waste or animal waste. And we're talking on the left, you can see the curbside composting bin. That's one of the brown bins that, again, you can use, but is not required. In the middle, you'll see those orange bins, which are curbside smart bins that take all the same materials that the curbside program takes. They are just available for the public 24/7. They do require a phone app to access. And the reason for that is if you do not create a barrier to entry to these bins, they become indistinguishable from trash very quickly. So there's an app that you can download called NYC Compost. Most of us in our part of Brooklyn don't have these bins near us, but if you're commuting to Manhattan, you might see them all the time. And then on the right are traditional food scrap drop-offs like the ones that my organization operates. Those are the old school ones that might have only taken fruit and vegetable scraps and coffee grounds, but we wouldn't have taken meat and dairy, because those things are a lot harder to compost at small scale with human labor. And we'll talk in a minute at how the Department of Sanitation does this on a very large scale with machines and mechanized processes. Where is the material going? So there's a lot of cynicism right now about government, about many institutions. A lot of people just don't believe these things are happening at all, but it is happening. This is a picture of Fresh Kills on Staten Island. The former landfill, now being turned into a park, also has a sizable composting operation. That's a giant mountain of actually made compost on Staten Island. And food scraps and yard waste are increasingly going to this site. And private landscaping businesses can drop their waste for a fee, and they can also purchase compost for a fee. So the city actually recoups part of their cost by selling to the private sector. But city residents, most importantly for a beautification organization like yours, can receive free compost. So you can go to the Department of Sanitation's website, nyc.gov/getcompost. And if you're doing street tree care, if you are beautifying some public garden beds, you might actually be able to get compost delivered straight to your site. If not, if you have a vehicle or a cart, you can go to different pop-up sites that the city is hosting throughout the growing season. So this is something that is being collected in the city, processed in the city, and the finished product is being given back to New York City residents. And that's not what we can say about a lot of waste management programs. So that's what really makes it special. Another site that the material is going is Newtown Creek in Brooklyn. If you've ever driven on the BQE, you might have noticed these over in Greenpoint. This is a sewage processing plant. Increasingly, large amounts of food waste from this program is being mixed with that sewage. This is not composting. This is kind of a different process called anaerobic digestion. What does that mean? All that means is that in these big silver domes, they're creating little miniature landfills. And those landfills, like we talked about earlier, will generate methane waste, methane gas. But instead of that methane going into the atmosphere, it's captured and it's fed into the city's gas grid. So this methane actually helps to power buildings in the city. So this is a different way of using our food scraps and our yard waste to be recycled in the city. Both traditional composting on fresh kills and this anaerobic digestion are part of the city's long-term solution to reducing our waste and reusing it. And they both provide benefits. So just bringing it back down to earth a little bit, how are we going to store this material? So tenants and residents who might be accustomed to composting in the past might use a container like the ones you see before you. You can also use plastic bags with this program. That's what a lot of people don't know. So the brown bin or the curbside bin should always be lined with a clear plastic bag, just like you might line your recycling bin with a clear plastic bag. And because of that, that means residents can actually bag food scraps in their unit. If you're in an apartment, you can reuse old Ziploc bags, produce bags, bread bags. I love to use produce bags because they're constantly coming into my house and I don't have to buy them. How does that work? Well, both of the processing sites, both on Fresh Kills and at Newtown Creek, have mechanized systems where they tear open the bags, they spit out the organic waste on one side, and they spit out the scraps of plastic on the other. And that way, everything is sorted and you don't have any plastic in the compost, but it makes it a lot easier for residents. So always make sure that you're containerizing your food scraps. I find that since I've been participating in the program, I actually get less odors in my apartment because I'm just a little more thoughtful about how I keep food scraps. You see in this picture on the bottom, someone has stored food scraps in the freezer. If you have room for that, that cuts down on odors and it means that you can kind of store food scraps for a while before you go and empty it into the bin. There are different ways of doing it. These are some other ways that people are storing their food waste. There's, you see the green and gray bin is one that you might buy from a store. The bin on the top right hand is one where the Department of Sanitation was handing those out for free for a while. They seem to have some stock left, but they don't always have a ton of them. I really like on the bottom left, someone took their existing kitchen bin and they just used some clips and they divided it in two. So what used to be just for trash is now both for trash and for compost. And I think that's a really smart way if you're convincing a neighbor who isn't really that interested in this program. How do we keep those habits the same? Use the same bin, divide it in two. They actually use the brown bag for regular trash since it doesn't have food scraps in it. And then on the right, the plastic bag is used for their food waste. You can use brown bags. Those actually will be readily composted because they're made out of paper. But of course, they're not great for long-term storage. So maybe if you're having a dinner party and you went to Trader Joe's or you went to the local food market, got a brown bag that night, you put all the waste from your dinner into that bag and you put the whole thing into the bin. You could also reuse old containers like that. And a word about those green bags that you see at the top of the screen, compostable kind of plastic style bags. Those are more than welcome in the system, but you should know that they are indistinguishable from plastic by the mechanized systems that are tearing apart all of the bags at the end, so they will wind up in the landfill. You're free to continue using them, but I would ask that you don't let anyone know that they think they have to buy special bags to participate in this program. They could use any plastic bag in this program, and it's important that they know that. And then finally, just information for building managers. Put out your bin on your regular recycling day. Food waste must be secured in a container with the What to Compost decal. And you can set out your waste at 6 p.m. if it's in a container, 55 gallons or less, or 8 p.m. if you're putting it directly at the curb. But For those of us living in central Brooklyn, it should be understood now that all 1 to 9 unit buildings must be containerizing all trash. Every single piece of trash must be in a container. So that is a new rule that will be in full effect in June. And it also means that 1 to 9 unit buildings will be using the official NYC bins. And then on the right, you can see an example of yard waste in a clear plastic bag. And finally, my last slide that I would like to give is for food waste reduction. So just because we're composting food scraps, I don't want anyone thinking that we might waste food. So this is all edible food that is put into our composting systems that should really be going to people first. So we don't want anyone to get too lazy and think that just because we can compost, that we shouldn't be making sure this food goes to people who are in need, because that would be a shame. And that is the end of my presentation.
Thank you for this great presentation, and I truly appreciate it. I know people will have questions. Ms. Dorothy Gordon will lead the Q&A session. Anyone with question, you can raise your hand. If you really can't raise your hand, you can start talking, and then we can acknowledge you. So Ms. Dorothy, take it over.
All right, thank you. That was an awesome presentation. Thank you very much. I remember Teddy seeing you. I think you were at the office last year, and you did a presentation for us. Or was it last year?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yes.
Yeah, I'm a compost trash nerd, so all good. Does anybody have any questions?
I saw several hands on the chat, so
looking, I don't see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Bree was
Costa,
before me.
Bree raise her hand, George
Bree.
Tate raise hands. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Bree, do you want to go first?
Sure. Good evening. My question was about making sure the trash is containerized. Does that include the recycle bins, the red, blue or green recycle bins? Are those going to be required as well, or is it just the trash bin?
Great question. Yeah, no, the only things that need to be containerized as of June will be food scraps in the curbside program and regular trash. You are not yet required to containerize your recyclables, but be prepared, especially if you're in smaller units or single family homes. That probably is coming, because why are they requiring this? It's not just about rats, but also the future is the mechanized collection of these bins, right? So there's already piloting with dumpsters happening in Upper Manhattan, where the trucks actually have arms, just like in many other parts of the world, where they're dumping bins and they don't have to rely on the extreme labor of our city sanitation workers to lift bins. So part of the vision is that eventually trucks will be using arms to collect the bins.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was great. Mr. Tate, you said you had a question?
Yes. Good evening. Welcome back, Mr. Tedesco. I remember your last presentation was great, and
Thank you.
And this one is saying, this is the same question I had last year, because I am all for composting. I love it. I've been doing it for a long time, and even before they started, like you. And but why is it that they still not the building 9 units over are not required to compose? I really think those buildings they have rats too, because I've seen them in the city. So I don't know what's the excuse for them not being part of the program.
Oh, they are. Let me clarify. Every single residential dwelling, doesn't matter how big, is now required to compost. 100%. That is the law. The buildings that are receiving most of the fines are the large buildings. They have the biggest task at hand. Those of us in single family homes or 1 to 9 unit buildings, it's a little easier. Every single building in residential building is required. What is not yet required of buildings of 10 units plus, they are not yet required to containerize all their trash, nor are they yet required to use official NYC standard bins. And that is coming, but it is definitely a much larger operational issue for large buildings. If you're in a single family home or a 1 to 9, you tend to have a little more ability, flexibility to store these bins. You can imagine a building that's 1,000 units. They now have to find space for maybe dozens and dozens of bins once all of their residents are in compliance. So it is coming for sure. And that's part of what the the Empire Bins dumpster pilot in Upper Manhattan is about, providing bins for these larger buildings. The entire city is required to compost. Only 1 to 9 at this point is required to containerize their regular trash.
Okay, thank you. Thank you
Yes.
for the clarification.
Yes.
That was great clarification. Thanks as well. The next person, Adele.
Can you hear me? Hello.
Yes.
Oh, what I was gonna say is something in my car, similar to what George says. It seems to be a shame that the largest offenders of that program that are essentially ignoring it, all those very, very large buildings in Manhattan. Because I went to my doctor's today at NYU. I'm walking down from the train station, and all you see are black bags everywhere, huge ones. And that is a rat issue, a major one. I'd hate to walk by there in the evening. I'd rather walk in the street. But
Absolutely.
my other question is in regards to large, like if I'm cleaning my backyard, what do I do with that? Because that's a lot of weeds and cuttings to put out. I
Yep,
don't think it would fit in a
it can
container.
all go in a clear plastic bag at the curb. If it's very large, if it's like large sticks or logs, they can be
Yes.
tied together. They don't have to
Mhm.
go into a bag. They can be tied together and put at the curb. And but they don't all have to go into a bag if they're very large.
Oh, good, because I got roses I got to cut. Thank you.
Thank you. Bree, oh, I see that you put your hands down. I have let me just make sure there's no other question before I ask mine. I have a question. Initially you said clear plastic bags that we can use, but then you said just any plastic bags in another conversation. Like when you're in the home, can does it have to be clear? Can you use the white ones? You know, some stores have the white bags
Great
and
question.
can use the black ones.
Yes. So clear plastic bags should be lining the bin that's curbside. That should always be a clear plastic bag. Think any other type of recycling. It's distinguishing it from regular trash.
Right.
But for residents in the home, they can use any plastic bag that's coming into their home, including like a delivery bag that is like a white bag. If you ordered Chinese and it came with a plastic bag, you can fill that bag up, tie the whole thing closed, and put the whole bag into the compost bin.
Perfect. Thanks for the clarification. Because I thought I was being a rebel and breaking the rules. Okay, thank you.
I have a question. I don't know if you mentioned it, but if you could provide more info on that in terms of, smelling. I think this will come over and over, this question about smelling for small apartment, even though we are using those bins and those, plastic bags, but I'm still concerned about smelling. Any recommendation for that?
Yeah, I mean, you can have a bin that has a closing lid, just like a countertop bin that I showed in the previous picture. What I personally do is I use existing bins and I have little clips and I just clip the bag closed and it doesn't smell at all. And I could fill a bag for 3-4 days in my apartment and it actually gets less smelly than my old regular trash used to, which did not have a lid, did not get clipped closed. I fill the bag, I clip it closed, and every time I want to use it, yeah, you might get hit in the face with the smell when you open it up and put new stuff in, but if you clip it closed, you won't have smells, and I've had real success with that. Most of the people in my building do choose to bag their own material, and it does make sure that that central collection bin is not smelling.
Thank you. I have a follow-up question. I see someone about to raise their hand, but the follow-up question is in terms of turning the pile, like for small box of composting. What is your advice on that? Because I know that when you open and you try to turn, that's what I learned previously. So what's your advice on that in terms of doing real composting and not opening the box, the container to turn into anything?
So just to clarify, with this program, you don't have to do any turning because this is just a collection program. If you're talking about small scale composting, like you might be doing in a community garden or in your home, you should be turning your compost pile a couple of times a week. It kind of depends how often you're adding food scraps to it. But generally speaking, a rule of thumb is 1 to 2 times a week. But again, that is for if you're doing composting by hand, whereas the curbside composting program does not require any kind of turning. It's just a collection of food scraps.
Thank you. I give the floor to two people that I see raising their hand. I saw Mr. Tate and I saw someone else. So I'm done with my questions. Mr. Tate, you can go and ask yours.
Okay, yeah. I think as a follow-up to what Mr. Tedesco mentioned about putting the compost in a bag and then into the indoor, like the countertop bin. Well, that's what I do. I normally I do put it in a plastic bag, make sure it's closed, put it in the countertop bin, and I keep it in the fridge. And I haven't had any problem with the smell. Because once you keep the plastic bag closed, that smell is doesn't come out. So I think that's might be something you could do if you have a small countertop bin. Put the plastic bag in there, put the compost in there, make sure you close the bag and put it in the fridge. It's just like if you had any food in the fridge. So that's what I do.
Yes, I see Cheryl.
Yes, good night, everyone. Thank you so much because you answered a few of my questions. I'm into composting, so I really appreciate, the confirmation of what I'm doing or not doing. But I have some friends and neighbors that still refuse to do it. What can I say to them to encourage them to start composting?
Well, for starters, most people don't like getting fines, even if they're small. I know that's a big motivator. So remind them that they could get fines. I think that's the first one. But I think the biggest thing that people don't know is that they can bag the material themselves reusing existing plastic bags. Because I think that is something that is very well within their existing habits with trash. We already put our trash in a bag usually, and a lot of people think that they have to have like a container that they have to then empty into the bin, and they have to bring the container back home, and then they have to rinse the container out, and they think it's a very strange process that they're not familiar with. And I think if you can tell them you already have all these plastic bags coming into your home, a lot of people already reuse plastic bags just for regular trash. Just have a separate one for food scraps. And I find for people that are skeptical or not really that into it, not really that interested in the environmental aspects, once they learn that they can bag the material themselves, they realize that it's easy.
Thank you.
Thank you. I I don't see any other hands, and there's none in the chat. But I have another question. Um, when we first started the program, I received the smaller bins because I noticed that some neighbors have the bigger ones. Now that we know what needs to be done, and what can go in there, is there any way of upgrading to a bigger bin and trade this one in? Because this is too small, and as it gets warmer, and they predict it's going to be a very warm summer, if you keep have what can fit in the bin for the recycle day and leave the other in the back, and then have to wait for a whole week again, that's not going to be pretty in the summertime. So is there any way of, you think, upgrading for a bigger size bin?
Yeah, so the city is no longer providing these bins for free. You can use any bin that you want as long as it's 55 gallons or less and it has a closing lid. So you might even have an old trash can that you used. And if you put the composting decal, which you can get for free from the Department of Sanitation's website, if you put the decal on that bin, just like you might with other forms of recycling, you can use any bin you want, 55 gallons or less, with a closing lid, lined with a clear plastic bag. If you want the official New York City composting bin, I know that the city has a deal with Home Depot and they sell them out of Home Depot. But you do not need to use that bin. You can use any bin 55 gallons or less with a closing lid lined with a clear plastic bag.
Oh, you just made my day. I didn't know that. So, and it doesn't have to be brown.
It does not have to be brown. It could be any color as long as it has that decal on it.
Wow, Teddy, you made me happy today. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we can do the same thing with the regular trash can, I'd be even happier.
Yeah, that's the thing with those 1 to 9 unit buildings. It is coming June 1st. Everyone's going to have to be in compliance with that official New York City bin. Go to the Department of Sanitation's website. That is the new rule. It is a big burden for people who already have a perfectly fine bin, and it is frustrating. But again, think that it is toward the vision of trucks being able to automate the collection of bins, which long term is a good thing.
Okay, thank you. In the chat, I see that someone asked, what about senior citizens? Can you, Adele, elaborate
Yes,
on that?
yes, what I was going to say. A lot of senior citizens have mobility issues, getting around, taking care of those type of things for themselves, and some of them live alone. So what can they do to not get fines?
Yeah, so like I said, it could be very similar. If you're in a single family home, it could be very similar to how you already handle your existing trash. You're basically just using a different bag than the one for your regular trash. But for seniors who live in multi-unit buildings, this can be burdensome because a lot of those buildings might have trash chutes or different collection areas that are no longer being used for food scraps. If you're talking about larger buildings, a lot of buildings have trash chutes where the trash gets thrown down the chute and goes down to the basement. And now residents are being required by their building to go down to the basement physically to drop off their food scraps for central collection. Understandably, those buildings don't want to start collecting food scraps on every floor because now you're introducing a possible pest problem if you have food scraps kind of sitting on every floor. But this is burdensome for a lot of people with mobility issues. The city does not require that the food scraps be collected every floor. It's not required that it be convenient for every resident. And that is a challenge that seniors and people with mobility issues are having. The buildings do have leeway in this area, though. That might change eventually. But right now, it's more just about getting buildings in compliance with the law. But it's real. It's a real issue, and it's one that seniors should be vocal about, explaining that they need options too.
Yes, because a lot of senior citizens live alone in single family homes, and they do have mobility issues. They do have a problem composting. They physically can't do everything. But thank you.
Chair, it doesn't look like we have any more questions. Anybody have any more burning questions?
Yes. Any last
I
minute
do.
question? Oh, yeah,
Th-
I see you a lot of time trying to speak. Go ahead, Ms. Turner. Yeah.
yeah. My question is this. I have trees in my backyard, and sometimes they need trimming. My question is, once we take some branches off and whatever we need to do, because it shades my neighbors behind me, can I bag after I cut them up? those branches with the leaves on them and everything and put them out as yard waste?
Yes, absolutely. If they can easily fit in a clear plastic bag, or you can use one of those big like lawn and leaf bags as well. If they
Right.
fit in either of those easily, put them by the curb. If they're so large that they're basically just gonna like tear open a bag, then you can just bundle them with twine and put them at the curb and they'll be collected as well.
Okay. Now, what about, let's say, a small tree? I mean, if you have I have bamboo in my backyard, which I hate with a passion. Periodically, I have to cut it down. Um, if I cut that into smaller pieces, can I put that bamboo tree in a bag, in a clear bag, and put it out?
Everything coming out of your garden, every plant coming out of your garden can go into this program. Definitely do your best to break it down. I'm not familiar with situations where maybe someone put like huge reeds of bamboo and maybe they weren't collected because they were too big. But every plant that's coming out of your garden, your grass clippings, all of that stuff can go into the curbside program in addition to all your food waste. So every single plant.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Mr. Tate, your hands are up.
Yeah, yes. Before I say that, Linda, next time you cut in bamboo, please let me know. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, no, I experiment with those bamboo sticks with arts and thing. So next time you cut it, I'll be happy to go over there and help you cut them down. Okay.
Okay, great. Yes,
Yeah.
I
Okay.
appreciate that.
Yeah. Okay.
Hi,
Good.
hi, it's Dorothy. When you
I did. No.
invite me too, because I want some for a pot, for pots.
Yes.
Oh,
I love bamboo.
Oh,
that's
I
that's
just.
fine. And if you want, I got Ivy too. I got stuff.
I'm
I'll let y'all
sorry.
know.
I had I had a question and it just skipped my mind. I'm sorry.
You got too
Hopefully I
excited
remember
about the bamboo.
it.
That's what's wrong.
Yes. Yes. But I'm sorry, but if I remember it, I'll raise my hand again. Oh.
Thank you, Mr. Ted. Thank you,
Oh.
everyone.
No,
You
I
have a
know what it
question,
was.
Mr. Ted?
I'm sorry. Yeah, the question was, does it have to be clear, like does clear plastic, or could it be a blue bag? Because I know with the regular recycling before, there was some question marks about using those clear blue bags.
It should
Can we
it
use
should be
those?
clear, not the blue bags, because the blue bags
Okay,
might confuse. Since it's picked up on recycling, it might confuse them for like plastic or something like that. So it should be truly clear,
truly clear.
transparent bags. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I have the bin, but I also have I do use those the bags, the leaf bags. I use those a lot. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, everyone. I don't see any hands. I don't know if you see anything, Miss Gordon, but I don't see anyone.
No
Um,
hands and nothing else in the chat.
Great, great. So I will ask the presenter if there is anything that you would like to share with us before we wrap up this presentation, anything that came from the questions that you want to address. So that's your time now. Thank you so much. Yeah, Teddy, you can take it over.
No, that's it. Thank you so much for your great questions. I really appreciate groups like this coming out because we really need some ambassadors for this program to tell your neighbors this is easy, this is a worthwhile program, the city's doing it for a good reason. We're all kind of environmentally minded. We want to do the best, but meet people where they are. Even if they don't care about the environment, they don't care about gardening or whatnot, they can be convinced why this is an easy and worthwhile program to participate in. So I really appreciate everyone bringing your questions and your thoughtfulness. And thank you so much for having me back.
Thank you, and I hope that you can be with us for our. Oh, I see hands again. I hope that you can be with us for our outdoor fair in August, like you did last year. I hope that you can be there and be ready to share some of your materials again. Thank you. So, now, quickly, it's already 8:16. We can quickly continue with the meeting until like 8:30, not too late tonight. I just wanted to share for everyone who came late or who probably didn't know that of the passing of Chair Daly. Some of you were there at the viewing. I saw Mr. Ted, but you are so far from me and I didn't get a chance to say hi to you. But we lost our dear Chair Daly, who never missed one of our events except the last one, and he was about to die about 48 hours after speaking to us so happily. So we will not have Chair Daly again in our next event, and that's very painful, although we know that he was sick, but I wanted him to be around. So that's just my own favorite thing of uh, to say about Chair Daly. It was a very he had a lot of energy, so we will miss him dearly. I was approached by um, some. We had a meeting with Partnership for Parks and other stakeholders. They wanted to do something in memory of Chair Daly, either a plant or something at the corner of Portgate Park. Uh, they shared that idea with me, and I said that I will share that with you. And if that, is come to reality, then I will let you know exactly what's the plan. It's either they want to do an event or have a plant on his, in his memory or a corner or something, because he loved to come at the parks during our event. So I will let you know what's next. That's one. We have on the 11, those who are able to. Oh, I see, Ms. DaCosta, you have a question, and after that, I see Mr. Tate. DaCosta, Bree, you have a question?
Oh, I was just going to comment on what you were saying about, dedicating something to the chair at the park. So I wondered if, I don't know if Paragat, because I don't frequent the park, if they have benches, if there's a bench they could dedicate, or if it could be a tree, something that would be a little bit longer lasting.
Okay, I can share this idea. Yes. Mr. Ted, you have also a question?
Well, a suggestion,
Yes.
because he used to play a lot of dominoes at Padigal Park, and he used to fight a lot for the repairs of those tables and all that. So, two suggestions. One, if they plant a tree around the Domino's table in his name, or if they could name one of those the tables, put his name on the tables or the chair or the benches in his honor, because he was always there with the domino tournaments and all that.
Yeah, I like this idea.
Okay, so that was my idea. That's all my suggestion. That's all.
Okay, okay. So, Miss Dorothy, you have a question?
Yeah,
Yes.
yes, on the same lines of what Mr. Tate said, because he was a baseball coach and there's gonna be a baseball field there. If they plant a tree, as I think someone else said about it's more long lasting, plant a tree in the area where the baseball field is going to be, or the bench over there. So it's on the same line as what Mr. Tate said about the domino portion of it, but he also coached baseball.
Yes. Thank you so much. When I was approached with this idea, I didn't know what to say because it was unexpected because they offered that to me. And I think this idea might be, they might discuss that with the park commissioner, all those, stakeholders, and we'll decide exactly what they want to do. And I will, before any decision, I will communicate that with you. And if you want to participate in any meetings regarding that idea, I would love, a group of people to be with me to discuss whatever they will be doing, so we are clear on that, so we can share that with the family, in the future before this, be implemented. So it's a new idea that they share with me, but I think we should all discuss what that will be, because this is our share and we want to take part of it and make it happen. Ms. Bennett? Miss Bennett, I see your hand. Very hard now. Yeah. Your voice, it's not coming. You can type in the chat, and Miss Gordon, maybe you can read for Miss Bennett. Yeah, because your voice is not coming. No, it's not coming at all. So you can type for us.
Berlotte, excuse me, because I can't raise my hand because I'm on the phone. But
Okay,
I
that's
was
it.
thinking we could have a dominoes
Tournament.
championship. You know what I'm saying? In other words, pick a day and have a dominoes challenge or something. And at the end of the game or the games, because you have different people playing in different places, and someone is, the champion, and we give them a mini trophy and call it the Daily Cup.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, as a follow-up, that's why my hands were raised, because I championed that idea because I was thinking I have the Roderick Daly is a memorial tournament. And yes, that idea about the trophy at the end having his name on it, it would be that's a great idea from Linda.
Okay. Thank you.
I have my hands up. Last thing. I do know for sure, 100% sure that he and his cats partners were actually planning a a tournament. So maybe you
Oh,
can, reach out. They were actually planning one.
Oh,
So maybe you can speak with the cats group, team,
oh,
organization.
okay, that's a lot of ideas. All right. So I will let you know when the meeting with Partnership for Parks will happen and the outcome of that. If there is a meeting with the park commissioner, with all those people to figure out what they can do physically in the park. I think some of those events we don't need the parks, stakeholders, but like for the tournament, maybe we don't. But for if we want to do something on the benches, the tables, this will probably it will be something different. So I will meet again with them and see how we can combine those things together to make it like maybe something bigger, and I will let you know. But what I would love, if there is a next meeting specifically for this project, I would love at least 2 or 3 of you to be on that table with me when we are discussing this thing. So I will let you know when a meeting is scheduled, but I would love it if you can be with me, for that.
If I'm available, I'll be more than happy to attend.
Okay, thank you so
yeah,
much. So yes, thank you so
yeah,
much.
me too.
Yeah. So in terms of my report, I will be very brief because time is coming to us. I really didn't get a chance this month after our first meeting to do any advocacy. I can tell you that my brain was not on any park event after the passing of Chair Daly. I can't lie. I was not like on that, mood. So I think that I am recovering, but it was like a little hard for me. However, I did some of those meetings. One of them was after the first meeting, we had a meeting with representative from Churchism. They will be doing something on June 10th. So they want Parks and Beautification community to partner for that event. There will be a tabling event. I will let you know what it's about, but it will be at Churchism. Recreation Center, Park and Recreation Center. So we will be part of it. The another event also they ask us to be part of is for Father's Day. I think they will mix those 2 things. I can't remember if this is 2 different dates, but I will let you know. One thing that I wanted to talk to you tonight about is the Parks and Beautification Committee is receiving a lot of requests to partner at events, which is a good thing for us to get visibility and let people know what we are doing and what we want for our community in terms of parks, beautification, etc. So last month, I had to cancel an event with because with the farmhouse Wyckoff farmhouse because I couldn't make it, and later on a member said that she was available to table, but I canceled because I couldn't make it. So I don't want this to happen again. We have a lot of requests for events. So what I want to do is when we have those events to send a memo to everyone. If someone is available, we can have 2 or 3 people to be there to represent the committee. I know you can represent your committee proudly. So instead of if I can't make it or if the co-chair can't make it, so I will cancel. I think we will do differently now. If because it's good for all of us to have a chance to participate, right? Some people can do Saturday, but some people can do Sunday. Some people can probably do Friday. Instead of having all our event on Saturday where someone might not be able to make it at all, let's be open to different days when we have offering so all of us can proudly represent our community. So if there is an event that I can't make it, and I can send a note to say who can represent, and then you can nominate yourself. 1 or 2 people can represent. For example, we have the clergy, the 67% monthly event. Mr. Jotted, myself, and some other members, we attended, at some point. This is something that is good for us to be there. You represent Community Board 17, you represent your committee, and then you can share any event that we have. And you can also take back the concern of the community during that event. So I think that any of you can be a chair for an afternoon. Go there, you have your notes, you know what you're going to say if they call you to the mic, and you stand up and you say it. You present CB17, you talk about the community, and then you take feedback and you bring that back. I don't know if you have any idea, if you want to ask any question. I saw Miss Cheryl raise her hand. If you want to ask me any question about how we can do that, I think it's a good thing. It's not a one person, do it all. It's like all of us can go there and do something. If the chair and the co-chair can't make it, you can go and represent your committee. Miss Soda, Cheryl, you want to
Yes,
say
Chair.
something?
Yes,
Yes.
Chair. Can you hear me? I just wanted to share that recently, Saturday, there was the Flower Bed-Stuy Community Beautification at 625 Quincy Street. It was a senior citizen, very nice, beautiful. But I had a wonderful time, and I knew how to participate, is because of my experience with this Parks Committee. I was helping with the raking and pulling up weeds and planting and so forth. So it's very easy for any of us to fill. But I would need more information and what to say about when it was started and history and goals and so forth to do like maybe 3 or 4 lines of introducing myself for being part of the Community Board 17. But thank you so much for the experience that I got, that I fit in any beautification forum or meeting, and any of us could do the same. Thank you.
Thank you so much for saying that. I think if anyone is going to represent, we will prep you, like, what to say, what not to say, because sometimes people will try to trap you and, ask you different questions. You don't have to answer everything. The best thing to do is to have materials from the board, events or flyers, and then share those things. Mr. Ted and I, we go to a lot of events. Miss Gordon as well go to events where we represent. Miss Linda Turner went to Charlotism, like the Tilden lady. They were all there. They represent. Sometimes it's good for us to be out there to learn from the community and get feedback as well, and participate in whatever event they are doing. We are Parks and Beautification Committee, but we are community members as well. Mr. Tate, you have your hand.
Yes, I just want to, Ms. Sanders was talking about, I just want to let you all know that if you are going to the 67th Precinct Community Council, you're only limited to 2 minutes so it doesn't have to be a long presentation because the community session at the maximum they give you is 2 minutes to make a presentation. So it's not too complicated. And I am part of the executive board for the 67 Precinct Community Council. I'm the treasurer. So just to let you know, you are
2 minutes.
represented every month over the air. But yes, I wouldn't mind if someone else from the committee come and make a presentation. And this is a safe way to invite everyone to come to the meeting, which will be next week. Next week. It's normally usually the day after the community board meeting. But there you could speak to your NC, to your well, they're no longer called NCOs, but your neighborhood officers are there. The commanding officer is there. I mean, you have more time to ask some questions that you do at the community board meeting, because this is specifically just with the police department.
Thank you, Mr. Ted. All I can say, in addition to what Mr. Ted said, is good to have at least 2 people when you are in partners. So if you are going to represent, it's good like it will be you and someone else as a backup. And as Mr. Ted said it, if you keep it 2 minutes, you will not go out of words. So you prep yourself and you speak for 2 minutes and you're done. You go and sit quietly, but you will represent your committee, and then you will also take feedback and enjoy what is out there. So there is a lot of events coming. What I want to do is to have a list of those events, send that to you, and then people can register which event they want to go and represent their community. You don't have to, some events you don't even have to talk. You just go there and have your table and you give materials. Or you just go, sometimes I'm invited to some other events where it will be a meet and greet or something. You said it sometime we'll go on my behalf, something with the commissioners, any of those events is good to have presence. If you are comfortable, then you can talk to me and you can say, I would like to go to that event. With that being said, I will set out the list and then you can let me know which event, because we have a lot of partnering events, but it's hard for everyone to attend all of them. So we will do something differently. You will receive a list and then you will pick which event you think you can attend. With that, is there any new business? Anything that someone will want to bring in for 2 minutes? Like Mr. Ted said, our 2 minutes. Yes, Miss Gordon.
Yeah, my new business is I just want to tell the Parks and Beautification Committee that I love this committee like 100%. I ride for my chair. I'm there when I can. I just want everyone to know that I was not reappointed. For the next term, I was not reappointed, so I'm officially not on the board. What I've always told people, even in my passing, like even if you're not on the board, that you can still, because I used to always tell people to come to the meeting regardless, because this is your community. This is still my community, whether I can raise my hand and vote for anything. So I will still be here. You can still be an active member in the committees. You can still table for the committees. You can still be present for your community. So I just want you to, know that. They have a new rule now why I can't be on board, but nonetheless, I love this this committee, and I'm still going to be here and still volunteering. So I just had to put that as new business.
Thank you
Good.
so
Welcome
much.
to the club.
I will not let you go anyway.
And I'm still here for you, Chair.
I will not let you go. You are my backup. I will not let you go. Quick question. I don't know if you get a chance. Time is coming quick. I don't know if you got all get a chance to look over the minutes. If there is anything that you would like to fix for the minutes, because I will ask someone to make a motion to approve. If there is, let me know if you went over the minutes of the April 7 meeting, and if there is anything to add, because I want to ask for a motion to approve.
Do we have a quorum?
Good question. I will ask, I
And as
lost.
of today, I can't vote.
That is so true.
Okay.
Okay,
No,
so what I will do, that's a good question, Mr.
no,
Ted.
you could
I
Oh,
vote.
can a
lost track because
can a
Yeah,
committee member vote?
yeah, yes,
Oh,
yes,
okay.
you could
I can
vote.
of
vote.
course you can.
And I was
Uh,
there.
I,
Okay.
Mr. Ted asked a question about quorum. I lost track. If you ask me that question now, I will have to pause on the vote for the
Oh,
minutes because I lost track of the amount
yeah.
for the vote because people were coming and leaving, so I lost track. How about if I table the vote for the minutes for the next meeting until I figure out about quorum? How about that? Anyone
That
oppose
works.
for that?
That
Okay,
worked. Yeah.
thank you
Yeah,
so
that
much
works
for
for me.
okay, thank you so much for raising that. And any new business? Oh no, that was the new business. Any old business? Anybody want to raise any old business? If not, now it's your time to share any community events. Yeah,
Yes,
Mr. Ted.
I
Yes,
have a couple of them.
yes.
Oh Lord.
Okay, this coming Friday, from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. at the Brooklyn Public Library, the Center Library, they have the Older American Resource Fair. Okay, so anyone 55 and over that goes, anyone could go, but most of the stuff are basically geared towards the elderly. But they have music, they have food, they have giveaways, and last year was a wonderful event. This is conducted by the public library themselves. So if you are not doing anything or want to stop by, again, it's at the Central Library. If it rains, they bring us indoor, but it's from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. That's one. And next Friday, the May 15th, at the Flatbush Gardens, they're having their health fair. Okay, and that's from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So there we have different screening and giveaways and things. So that should be a nice affair too. And again, the 21st of May, Thursday the 21st, is the community council meeting at 7 o'clock at the 67 Precinct on Snyder Avenue between Rogers and Nostrand. So you're all invited to all three events. Oh, and one more. I'm sorry, this Saturday, which is the second Saturday, is the food distribution at Alliance Tabernacle, which we do it every second Saturday of the month. And it's from, it starts at 11 a.m. So again, it's a food pantry. I think that's it.
Mr. Ted, will you be able to
Yes,
share the flyers with me or you can post them in the chat because I think a lot of people would love
for,
to
for,
see
for
them.
the
You can
pantry, for the
everything,
pantry,
everything
I
that
don't
you have.
have a flyer. I could share the one for the 15th, for the Flatbush Garden, because
All
I
right.
just picked up the flyer today.
Okay.
And I could forward the information for for this for the Others American Resource Fair, because I don't think I have a flyer, but I think I have the email with the what you call it, with all the information. So
Okay. Thank you.
I could send you that. Okay,
All right. Thank you.
I'll
I
send you that
see
tonight.
I see Miss Gordon hands and Miss Cheryl hands. Miss Gordon?
Sure. I just want to do some announcement as well. On May 9th, this coming Saturday from 11 to 3, Sesame Flyers in conjunction with other folks are doing a Spring into Health. That's going to, and I'll share the flyer with you. It's going to be at 905 Winthrop. And they're also doing a Mother's Day soca size at the same event. And they're going to be giving away free roses to the moms. And Sesame Fly is also doing an event May 16th. So there's a lot, spring is in the air. So a lot of folks are doing a lot of amazing things, especially now outdoors. So we should just represent our community board and be at these events that people in our community is having these events. So, and I'll share the flyer with you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Miss Cheryl?
Yes, thank you so much for the opportunity. This Thursday, May 7th, from 6:30 to 8 is going to be the New York City Day of Prayer at the Christian Cultural Center. That's at 12020 Flatlands Avenue. Pastor Bernard is going to be there, Pastor Gil Bailey, and it should be a nice, forum. May 7th from 6:30 to 8.
Oh, you said this Thursday.
This Thursday, the 7th, yes.
Okay, if you have any flyer, you can post that for us so I can share it with other people if you have.
Okay.
Any other announcements? Miss
I
Dalton, you
have
have one again?
one. The very last one is very important. Thank you, Cheryl, for mentioning CCC, because I got a flyer that there's affordable housing lottery, because a lot of people looking for housing, and I just happened to get this. It's called Innovation Village, Urban Village, and that's the name of the big building that's there. And the deadline for applications is May 25th. I know a lot of people in our community is looking for housing. So I mean, I know this is not in our community per se, but it's in Brooklyn, and folks are looking. So I will share this with you. It's brand new, and application is 25th of May. So that's all I have.
Thank you so much. Lastly, we will be having our event in August. Last year, we had a lot of agencies. I will contact them. However, if you yourself know any agencies that you would love us to include in our list, please reach out to me and we can work together so you can have we can have the contact information. We can have a letter sent to that nonprofit agency so we can have them in our fair. So our fair is a community fair. We don't, for now, I forget our theme for this year, but regardless, if you have agencies that would love to participate, let me know so we can reach out to them to send a letter of invite, and a save the date flyer will come out. Flyer will come out soon. Any question before we close this meeting?
Ms. Berlotte, I
Yes.
just put the information for the Oldest American Resource Fair in the chat. Not the flyer, but information on the address.
Okay, thank you. I hope that everyone can copy that information for that event. Before we take a motion to close this meeting, I would love each of us to say one word about how you feel today. Oh, if I ask you, how do you feel today? Because we are human beings, we go through a lot. But tonight, before we close this meeting, I just wanted you to give one word. It can be a prayer words. It can be a community, something related to the community. How do you feel? One or two words is good. So if I ask you, Mr. George Tate, how do you feel tonight with one word? What will your one word be? Yeah, Mr. Tate, you are first.
Sorry, I didn't realize I was muted.
I realize that too, yes. What is your one word?
Overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed. All right. Dr. Walsh, if I ask you tonight, how do you feel in one word? What will that be?
Well, I have more than one word, but full of expectation.
Expectation. Thank you. Miss Cheryl, what is your, it can be one or two words, or three, if you can describe it in one.
Grateful.
How do you feel?
Grateful.
Thank you. Miss Bennett, how do you feel tonight in one word?
Blessed.
Thank you. Miss Gordon? You are muted. You are muted. I see you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. No, I was going to say before I say my word, I wanted to ask George if there's anything I can do, because he said overwhelmed, and that gave me pause.
Oh, okay.
So, Mr.
Mr.
Tate,
George,
is there anything?
You want me to explain?
No, is there
Okay.
anything I could do to
No,
help?
no,
I mean,
no. I tell you, it's a lot of things going on, and then the Monday when we received the announcement that Chairman Daley passed away, that was my third announcement after that for that day. Okay, Monday I was awoken from my bed with a call about a longtime friend who passed away,
Yeah.
and I then received a second one from someone that I knew all my life from I was born. Then the next one was no, I'm sorry, the one that I knew from all my life when I was born. That was the Saturday. Then came Monday, and then it was my friend. There was a second one, and then the third one was Chairman Daly. So that was four deaths in 3 days, you know. And then
So
I had
sorry
two,
for the
I
loss.
had
Sorry.
two more deaths after that. And if you know, I've been traveling like crazy with the different deaths. On top of that, I was like, it's I think too many things going on, fighting with my health. What health insurance that for a while one insurance said I wasn't covered because the other one was covering me and I couldn't have I can no longer have two coverages and back and forth, so I haven't been able to go to the doctor since February. And in February when I went to the doctor, um after that Aetna claim I could not be covered because I was covered under my wife's policy. And then my wife's policy sent a note to my doctor, sent me the EOB saying that I could not pay my doctor because when I went to the doctor in February, I was not covered. So it's been a mess trying to cover all this the situation. In the meantime, there are days that my knee are so swollen, and I can't even go anywhere because I have no idea what my coverage was all about. So I've been fighting with them all along, which it gets frustrating not knowing because as you know, I'm diabetic. I have all kind of stuff. For the beginning of the year, I had to pay another pocket because I can't do without my medication, but it's been a fight since the beginning of the year. And that's because I blame everything on the change that New York Life made with the policy. At the end of last year, they made some changes that every retiree from New York Life is going through hell with all these things. But it's been, and then to make it
Thank you for
big to
sharing.
see how things are going. Yesterday, I had to go to the bank because after spending 9 weeks and jury duty last year, right? I got my check, I deposited, I got my confirmation notice, and then Friday when I went to I did what they call it online check-in. I went. I said, "Oh, let me check and see what." There was no record of my of my the deposit I made in December for the check. I spent 2 hours trying to call MCU. They would hang up. They do. Finally, I went yesterday, and thanks God, after waiting an hour and a half on Ralph Avenue, it was resolved. But in the
Wow, that's
meantime,
it. That's a lot.
yeah, no, because I
I'm sorry
already
to hear
Thank you
that.
for sharing. I will say
I
thank you for sharing.
already
Tested,
had
but
to have to put it in my income taxes, so I already
Yeah,
paid my taxes on it. So
thank you.
to find out that
I know.
$642 was missing, but they cleared it. But no
Thank
one
you.
could tell me why they gave me a confirmation number if it didn't go through, you know.
Yeah.
But thanks God, I write everything down. So yeah, but
Thank you,
well,
Mr.
thank
that's
Tate.
it. It's just a lot of stuff that's going
you.
on that
Yeah, that is overwhelming.
I
Well,
am
I'm sorry
so
to hear that.
grateful. I'm
Thank
so
you.
grateful that you took the time to share that with us and that you
Thank
went
you.
off, and then whoever else you need to share that with and talk to, please don't keep all that in. Please,
Yeah.
Mr. T.
Thank you.
Please, thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you
Thank you
for
for sharing.
sharing.
'Cause
Yeah. I don't want
yeah,
to
I
Yeah.
forget.
appreciate.
I don't want to forget the rest of the people
So
we didn't
thank you
share.
very much. I appreciate
Mr.
Yeah,
that.
Miss- Thank you.
my one word is
Yeah.
blessed, but I just had to ask because that was yeah.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you.
No,
Who didn't go? Dr. Walsh didn't
I'm
go. Who didn't go? Dr. Walsh, I didn't hear you. I think Miss Turner and Miss DaCosta.
Yes, I said, this is Dr. Walsh. I said full of expectation.
Thank you.
And also, I'm sorry, Mr. Tate, for everything that you're going through. You can always reach out if you need someone.
Yes.
thank you.
Miss Turner.
Yeah, I'm good.
Thank
I'm
you. And
blessed and highly favored.
thank you. Tell Miss
Mhm.
Jacqueline Williams that I miss her a lot in that meeting tonight. Say hi.
Okay, I will.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Miss Turner. Miss DaCosta.
Since everyone has already said blessed, I will say optimistic.
Thank you. That's still your word, right? Who didn't go? Miss Bonetta, did you go?
Yeah, I didn't go. I feel energized because events of last week with the changes in the Voting Rights Act. I feel motivated to try to do more to get people engaged in the voting process and um, more engaged in the political process so that we can advocate for ourselves.
Thank you. Mr. Claire, if you are still with us, just one word.
I will say that I'm optimistic.
Thank you. I think two people said that or one already, right? Thank you. For me, I can say that I am overwhelmingly tired. I'm very tired because I'm doing a lot of things. Um, Trying to focus is very hard. I don't want to procrastinate, but I am, my only big word is tired. When I said tired, I am tired. But in closing, I will say that for everyone who shared how they feel tonight, I hope that each of us can support each other because we are human beings, we are community members, but we are not only parks and community members, we are human beings. Some of us are even neighbors. Please support each other. Check on each other because one day that's all that will stay with us is who you supported, who you check on, who you say hi to. These things really, really matters. And if there is anything I can do to support any of you, if there is anything I can do to, share some resources with you, either with the board or personal contacts or community contacts, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. If there is anything that I can do, I will always do it. Sometimes we can't do much, just we can do a referral to someone else. Sometimes we can't do much, we can just be a shoulder to someone. I am here for you. I am here with you. I'm not only the chair of this committee, but I am also a licensed social worker who can just be with you and listen. Mr. Tate, in closing, you have the last word, and then I will ask for a motion to adjourn. Mr. George Tate, I see your hand.
Yes, I just want to say, like to make it clear that I know I said I'm overwhelmed. I've been going through all this, but they said the Lord doesn't give you more than you could bear. And I am a true believer. So I am thankful that every morning when I wake up, I'm thankful. No matter what problems I'm going through, I know it's not going to last forever. And just want to make it clear that I know I leave everything in the hands of God, and I know He would pull me through this. But I am also thank you for all of you who express your sentiment. And sometimes I don't say much because I don't want it to feel like I'm looking for sympathy. Unfortunately, that's the way I am. And
But that,
but
that's okay. We are
but
human.
but I really appreciate all the comments that were made today, and I thank you, Dorothy, for asking the question, because otherwise I would not have said it. But it really makes me feel good to see that I had the support of this committee. Thank you all for your blessings.
Thank you, Mr. Ted. And you
Always, don't
can
worry.
always, oh, I was about to say, you can always check with us. We are family here. That's a committee. It's not like a single person show. We are family. We can share our concern because life is not easy. Life is really not easy. Any last word before I ask for a motion to adjourn tonight? Okay, hearing none, I will say thank you out to our presenter who stayed with us until the end. Thank you so much, Teddy. Thank you also to Miss Gordon, who lead the Q&A session for us tonight. Thank you to Miss Sinclair, she stayed with us and put things together, sending all this invitation, flyers, meeting minutes, and etc. Thank you. And thank you to you all committee members who make this happen tonight. We are together to win. We are together to continue to work for our community, for the Parks and Beautification Committee. With that being said, I am asking for a motion to adjourn the May 5th, 2026 Park and Beautification Committee tonight. Who would like to make the motion to adjourn? State your name.
Linda Turner. I forgot what you say.
I, Linda Turner, make a
But
motion to
anyway,
adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
All right, thank
Janetta
you.
Sylvester, I second it.
Thank you so much for your motion to adjourn the meeting of May 5th, 2026 tonight. And I will get back to you with the list of events so you can check whatever events you would like to participate in. Thank you, Ms. Sinclair. Now you can stop with the recordings. Mr. Jordan, I will
Good
follow
night.
up with you.